welcome to the Sartorial Geek podcast. I am Joey Ellis of Jordandene, and I am here with Liz Crowder.
What up?
And our designer, Joey Ellis.
What's up, guys?
We actually all, at the day we're recording, we just got back from a very fun, very much partying wedding that we did last night. So if we sound a little out of it today,
it's because there was an open bar.
Yeah, it's because we danced our faces off until like 6 hours ago, and now we're recording. Before we get started, we actually have some exciting news. We just set up a Patreon account. So if you don't know what that is, it's a place where you can support artists or projects or people that you think are doing cool things. So if you wanted to check that out, in addition to supporting us over at Jordandene, you can also go to patreon.com/sartorialgeek. We have rewards from $2 to $25 right now. And we're also taking suggestions. If there are rewards that you really want to see, you can just send me an email or send us a message on social media anywhere. But that's the thing that we started that's happening, so you can check that out if you want. So back to chatting with Joey and Liz. We're trying to survive by drinking coffee, but not have you guys hear that we're drinking coffee.
Or putting the cup down on the table.
That's what all the mug banging is. But Joey, you are actually the designer of every single thing at Jordandene. For those of you who don't know, he has done our website. He's done all the branding. He does all the hand lettering for all the shirts. But I feel like you don't really get a lot of FaceTime or credit or shout outs, and I feel kind of bad about that. So part of the reason that I wanted to have you on today is as a thank you and a shout out for all the work of basically doing everything that happens with the business. That's great of you.
Thank you.
Do you how do you feel about no one really knowing that and not really getting enough credit for all of your artistic input?
It's okay. I'm happy to fly under the radar. It's your show. I'm just helping.
Well, you help in all the biggest ways, so thank you. But to let you also talk about what you do for your work. Yeah, your work for my brand is a very, very small part of what you actually do with your whole life and time. Your other projects are a little bigger and more exciting, I think.
Oh, every project is exciting.
But do you want me to tell everyone what you do, or do you want to take a second?
Sure. Yeah, you can give me an intro.
Okay, so Joey, with his two partners from college, run an ad agency called GrandArmy. So they do all kinds of really cool things. If you follow them or check out their website, you can see all their projects. One of my favorite things that they did before, years ago, when they were working at another agency, is Joey actually did the hand lettering for the Taco Bell Live Moss slogan. So if you have seen any Taco Bell work and that looks familiar, it's because it's the same creative.
Just Live Moss, not everything.
All of Taco Bell.
Yeah. Sorry if that was confusing.
Don't take too much credit.
Yes, if you have seen Live Moss on Taco Bell things and you think it looks like Jordandene shirts, it's because it does. Yes.
We've seen a couple people get tattoos of it.
Are you serious?
Of Live Moss?
Mm-hmm.
And Taco Bell?
It's great. No, just Live Moss.
That happened another time too. You guys did branding for, what was it called? Ghetto Film School? Mm-hmm. And then was it one of the students? Or one of the students got a tattoo of the branding for that project too. So you have
high praise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just saw somebody got a A24 tattoo recently as well.
Whoa.
So just putting logos out there, people getting tattoos, crazy.
I feel like I'm behind. If anyone should have a Joey Ellis tattoo.
Support him, Jordan. He's out here supporting you.
Okay, I have one tattoo. It is of the Big Dipper, so I guess that's technically, I
drew the dots.
Yeah, I feel like that's not good enough. I need to really step up my game. Yeah.
Somebody else got a tattoo, right? A Jordandene inspired tattoo.
Yeah, shout out to my friend Kim, who actually, we did temporary tattoos of I Know My Value, and she messaged me and was like, what are the steps to getting this tattoo for real? So there is exactly one that I know of, Jordandene tattoo out there in the world, which is very cool.
You might inspire some more with this.
Yeah, if anyone wants more, just send me a message. Doing custom tattoos is very expensive, but giving you the file to get one of our designs, if you want to do it, is pretty easy. So, if anyone out there is looking for a hand-lettered nerdy tattoo,
there you go.
we can hook it up. So Joey actually, on the last episode with Liz and I, we talked about how we were nerds growing up because I played Pokemon and Liz read all the fantasy books forever. I think Joey takes the cake for being the biggest nerd, the earliest,
yeah, probably.
pretty seriously. We weren't friends when you were like a child, but you were like the kid who took his comic books and his drawings of comic book characters around in an old briefcase.
In a briefcase, Joey.
I had a briefcase.
Thought you were going to say a binder.
No,
backpack.
Liz. No.
A
I thought it
briefcase.
was very cool.
Wait, how old were you?
I think I got the briefcase when I was 8,
Lord.
maybe.
Have
And it
mercy.
had my drawings, and it had my comic books, and it had usually a couple action figures in there.
Of course.
yeah.
As one does. As one does.
So that really sets the stage for the kind of child I mean, this is coming from a place of love, because clearly I was not doing much better than you, but...
Did you have a briefcase?
No, I didn't have a briefcase.
I think I wanted a briefcase because Bruce Wayne carried a briefcase on the Batman cartoon.
Boy. Gets worse.
Well, that is a perfect introduction into what I was actually... So, you've been a big nerd about all kinds of stuff forever, but Batman is, your number one most favorite guy, right?
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember how that started? How you either found him or decided he was your favorite?
I probably started with the cartoon, the animated series, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sure my mom got me comic books before that and action figures, but I don't know. I just sort of don't remember. I've always been into it. It's always been my favorite character, so
Since
I don't know.
you were born?
Yes.
Since you were born?
Yeah, no, I don't really remember. So I guess it's, before I could really put a date on it,
Did you know the DC versus Marvel, did you make a very specific, no, DC is for me, Marvel is not for me?
No, I don't think it was a conscious choice. I really liked Spider-Man growing up as well. It's super into Spider-Man, but I think Batman and Justice League and Superman and all the DC characters were my number one. It's my.
Is there was there a thing about Batman that made him your favorite?
Thought he was rich.
Yeah, I mean.
So you're a role model
Money.
because he's a trillionaire.
Yeah. No, I guess mostly that it's, pulled himself up from his bootstraps.
So rich.
So
Slash,
Liz nailed it right away.
Had a lot of money. I guess I always thought it was cool that he didn't have superpowers. I think that was...
He just was rich.
Yeah, and he was, he was able to hold his own in the world of crazy superpowered people.
With his money.
And his discipline to become the best at everything.
All right, I can see. Yeah, this seems like that lines up pretty well with what you have decided to do with your own life that you're following in Batman's footsteps.
I mean, I'm not
a
not a martial artist, but
but you want to be.
That's very
can
attainable.
relate to wanting to be the best at everything.
And have all the money.
Yeah.
I mean, and you are only not a martial artist because you just haven't done it, not because you don't want to.
Bet you would be
I feel
really
like
good at it.
Yeah, I should
in your
take some classes.
I will say that this it's gonna put you in a weird spot when he gets drunk and dresses up as Batman on Halloween. If he knows how to do martial arts, we're in real trouble. He already climbs all the trees.
So
True.
Liz is also referencing there was a Halloween, oh my gosh, like probably 8 years ago, where I had a very terrible Robin costume. Joey had a pretty terrible.
He called it Imposter Batman.
Yeah, he
hadn't fine-tuned it yet.
a level 1, not quite leveled up Batman outfit, and Liz was Catwoman. And so there was like a very memorable part of the night where everyone drank way too much and we were trying to leave. And so Joey as Batman carried Liz as Catwoman down the stairs and like
I fell asleep and would not listen to Jordan.
We exited the party that way and it was beautiful. Yeah, that was a very good moment.
It was a pretty fantastic exit. I don't remember it, but that's what people tell me.
I wish that was during the time of smartphones and we would have had way more photos.
It was during the time where he had the...
Oh yeah, what are the things called on the arms?
Van braces.
Very sharp. They were very sharp.
So he bought them off of Amazon for his costume, tried them on the day of the party, and was like, I think these are actually knives, and then was just in the kitchen with cutting boards. Chopping apples with his arms. So we had to cover them with a lot of layers of duct tape, so we didn't really hurt anyone.
If he tripped with me, I would be dead.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Costume was too real.
It was. Yeah. It was a little.
So we use foam. We use foam now for costumes to make it safer. So you love the Nolan movies, obviously.
I do.
I guess I shouldn't say obviously. That is just, everyone else doesn't know that, but they're very good. We actually, when the first one came out, Joey drove like 2.5 hours to get to the IMAX theater with us and our other friends so we could all see it opening night. He like drove to Philadelphia from New York to go see opening night Batman.
Great. Yeah, it's really important that we were all there. Yeah, no, it was great. It's amazing.
What's your favorite movie of the trilogy?
I think The Dark Knight is probably the best one. Yeah, it's the best one.
I like it because I think Heath Ledger was insane in all the best ways. Have you seen those, Liz?
Oh, yeah.
Because I had only known Heath Ledger as like the beautiful person in like 10 Things I Hate About You and A Knight's Tale, which I loved. A Knight's Tale.
That's a great movie.
Liz and I will have an episode about A Knight's Tale later.
Sure will.
And then I remember all the backlash that was like, he's the worst choice for this. There's no way he'll be a good Joker. And
when
then
the movie came out,
in theaters,
and everyone freaked out.
It was incredible. So that's why I liked it the most. Do you have a different reason?
No, I mean, I think the Joker is like the most iconic character in like probably all of the superhero movies so far.
Yeah.
His performance is like the best. It's incredible. Yeah, no, it was just super surprising. I think the intro of that movie is like amazing. The first 6 minutes, the heist scene is
the bank
pretty amazing.
Heist.
Yeah. Kind of sets the tone for the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
And also really good.
Yeah, it was so good. Okay, so I feel like we have set the stage for how big of a Batman fan you are. How did you feel about Batman versus Superman? Because I have some problems.
I mean, yeah, it's not very good. Batman just goes around like machine gunning people, and it's just sad.
Doesn't Batman not shoot people? Isn't that his whole deal?
Right.
So Liz, you bring up a very good point that if you know one thing about Batman, I feel like it's that. And so the movie takes an interesting direction because
I just feel like his entry gun wouldn't, if he decided, I'm going to shoot people now, I feel like he would start smaller than a machine gun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think they should have asked you some questions before they made this movie. And like, who is a tiny Batman fan? We can just run these things by even someone who knows anything about this character and see if it makes sense.
Yeah. Just sort of like a fundamental misunderstanding about what makes those characters interesting. But I mean, if I were to be charitable, I guess the intention was to have both Batman and Superman be in places in their character arcs that are different than what you expect, and towards the end of the movie is when they become, you know, like Batman redeems himself and then Superman becomes the hero again. But that's sort of, you know, it didn't really work.
What did Superman have?
I mean,
as a weapon?
Just his own body.
No.
Just his self.
Just he's Superman. He doesn't need any weapons.
Well, what I was gonna say is that we left the movie in theaters.
You went to see it in theaters?
Oh, we saw it opening night.
Oh, I've seen all of them opening night.
Yeah. So there's the that's the first problem. That was bad. We left, and I said, "Oh no, I'm so sad that I just spent this amount of time watching this." And Joey's response was,
What did you say?
"Okay, it was fine." And then okay, go ahead, defend yourself.
No, I think there's some really amazing moments in the movie, like the.
Why are you smiling then? I don't believe you.
Just like visually and like action wise, like the scene where Batman takes down all the guys in the warehouse to save Martha is like constructed it's really amazing. It's awesome, but it's like he also goes around throwing grenades at people and killing people and stuff. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think that's Batman.
No.
Other than that, though, it's, you know.
Oh, other than that.
Well, so we left, and I was like, that movie was trash. And he was like, I don't know if I would go that far. Blah, blah, blah.
Batman in
It
it.
had some good moments. And then one day, after it was released, I came home, and he was in the middle of watching the director's cut. And so I walked in. Yeah. I walked in, and he goes, no, I think this makes it better.
Before you even said anything, he was defending his choice.
Yes, because that is how you have to respond when someone catches you in the middle of
Did you come home early? He wasn't expecting you.
Sneak attack.
No.
It's not what it looks like. It's not what it looks like.
There's an extra 20 minutes of context that is helpful, makes the movie make more sense.
But you shouldn't have to watch the director's cut for the movie to make sense.
I'm with you, Liz. I'm with you.
Agreed. Yeah. No, I'm with both of you. I just look. I just want to have more well-made Batman and Superman movies in the world. This is not one of them, but I will.
You're giving them
watch.
your money.
That's true. I mean, they had my money before.
Yeah.
They didn't have to try too hard to get my money. I will go
Very obviously.
see all of them. If for no other reason, then I just have to check that box, you know.
You might be the person keeping these movies afloat.
The only one. Yeah.
So you've seen all, I mean, this seems like a dumb question, but you have seen all the Batman movies.
Ever
Yes. Yes.
Could you, I mean, I feel like that's...
Including all of the animated ones, I think.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
I was gonna see if you could rank them. I feel like that's a very hard thing to
Long
put on the
list.
spot
I
on a podcast.
bet Joey could do it.
You don't have to include every single one, because I feel like that's sort of a sneak attack
I feel
question.
like he
but
already has a list in his head.
yeah.
I'd say The Dark Knight is up there. I would say Mask of the Phantasm is up there. It's
That's an animated. Okay, I was
movie.
gonna say. I barely know what that is, so I think it's animated.
It's the Bruce Timm animated movie. What else? I don't know. I don't really love the Tim Burton movies all that much.
Which, tell me the actor that is the Batman in
Michael
this.
Keaton is the first.
Interesting.
Is that where the cats eat that old lady who fell out of a window?
Yeah, so that's the second one that Tim Burton made.
That was real
Batman
creepy. I
Returns.
saw that as a kid. Only that one scene, and I was describing it to Joey, actually. I was like, there was this one movie I walked into, and an old lady falls out of a window, and then cats start eating her, and he was like, oh, that's Batman.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
That's weird.
Oh, that's Batman.
That's super weird. That scene is crazy.
I'd say that Batman is in that movie, but it's more of a movie about all the villains, I think. That's
Who
that
pushed
is,
her out the window? Her son?
Max something Max. I can't remember. He's the
What's his
main
character?
villain. He's like a sort of competing industrialist in Gotham City.
What?
And she Selena Kyle works for him. I forget his name. But he pushes her out of the window because...
they were it was kind of an accident?
No, he definitely pushed her out.
Maybe in my child brain, I was like, no one would do that on purpose.
Yeah, your brain was saving you from having to
we had to
realize
watch cats chew on her body for entirely too long.
Well, no, they brought her back to life.
But they chewed on her.
I always was...
Cats chewed on her.
It's true.
Mm-mm.
They all came flying out of the trash cans. It took no time at all.
That's terrible.
I could never figure out if that was meant to be, magic realism. Were the cats...
Really there?
I don't... Yeah, were they really... did she get powers?
From
I don't understand.
feral cats eating her
No, I know. It's weird. I don't know.
So that's why it's not at the top of your list. Scenes like that.
Well, those movies are
Tim
Burton movies that have Batman in them. They are not Batman movies
that seems
primarily, I don't think. I mean, I think when Batman Begins came out, the first Nolan movie, that was this is actually a Batman movie. This is what it should be. But before that, only the animated movies were good, I think. Yeah,
and new animated movies are coming out, right? Didn't we just watch one?
We watched Gotham by Gaslight. It's pretty good.
So if there's anyone who has all the same interests as me, which are basically true crime stories and murder things, and Harry Potter, but that's not related to this. But if there are any fellow murderinos out there and you want to check out a Batman animated movie, it's what's the premise? It's it's sort of a Jack the Ripper type story.
Yeah, it's what if Batman was around, or if Gotham was sort of set in Jack the Ripper times.
That's a pretty interesting universe.
It's good. You would like it.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's it's actually really funny. One of the first scenes, because in my head, I still associate animated things with kids stuff.
Me too. I have a very hard time watching cartoons.
So when one of the first scenes is it's Poison Ivy doing a burlesque show. She's on stage. I'm right about this, right? She's on stage and you can see her butt. And I was like, is this for kids? What is this? And he was like, no, this is definitely not for kids. So yes, it is not a children's cartoon.
No.
And same thing, is it The Killing Joke was another animated movie, or am I wrong? Was that a comic book and it was called something else?
It was a comic book first, and then it became a animated movie. DC has been going through kind of past iconic graphic novels and turning them into animated movies that are
sweet.
Sometimes they're pretty faithful adaptations, and then other times they kind of expand on the stories and kind of evolve them a bit. But they've been mostly good. I'm trying to remember if that one was good. I can't remember.
Well, it's one of the few that I saw, and I liked it. So, I mean, because that... So, I am a terrible comic book reader in that I have read almost no comics. So, I started reading the New 52 Batgirl, and I've read a few of your favorite Batman, kind of smaller, what is it called? When it's just its own stories, you can just read a book or two, and then
a trade paperback, a collection of a run of stories, or graphic novel.
So I've read a few of those, but what are some of your favorite because Batman's been around for how many years?
The 40s.
Okay, so that's a lot of comic books and stories. What are some of your favorite chunks of it or timelines? Or I don't really even know how to ask this question because I don't understand.
What would you recommend that people
where would you start?
Yeah.
I mean, I would...
Yeah, if you're newly interested in Batman, give me and Liz and any other listeners reading.
Okay, I think that you should start with Year One. That's sort of I guess it came out in the late 80s or early 90s maybe. Frank Miller did a short kind of reimagining Batman's first year, basically trying to figure out how to be Batman.
Tell people who Frank Miller, like, give the... He's famous.
Frank Miller is like a famous artist and writer. He did Sin City, 300, a bunch of Batman stories.
So if you like those things, that's related.
Yeah. Currently, he's still working today. I wouldn't recommend his current stuff. He's sort of gone off the deep end. But,
all right. Well, Sassy Joey is here to tell you, go back to the 80s.
Waking up. Second cup of coffee, Joey.
Yeah, I would stick with some of the earlier stuff that he wrote. His Daredevil stuff is really good. Like he created Elektra. You know,
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's only one. Is that the only?
That's where I would start, and then what else? I would read the Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb books, like The Long Halloween.
Oh yeah,
and
I read that one.
There's one other one. Those are really good. They kind of like set up the world of kind of introduce like a lot of the themes from like Batman Begins with like the mob bosses, like the Falcones, and kind of like the underbelly of Gotham. The stories are good. What else? I know there's so many.
Well, we can also, because I know that was a super put on the spot question, we can also make
a list.
Yeah. We can make a list to put in the show notes on the website, so people we can make a more curated list for you guys. I should have asked that question earlier to prep you.
And then there's been, maybe while I'm thinking of it, there's been a couple recent like kind of one-off books that don't take place in the main timeline. It's sort of like those are probably the easiest places to jump in. Like there's a Joker story that's a one-off. It's really good.
Is that the one that we have in hardcover?
Yeah, it's like Brian Azzarello wrote that. It's really good.
This book is so gross. I read it.
Terrifying.
Oh my god! Because
you're gonna say it's amazing.
Well, it is, but so because I'm such a comic book noob, like I just didn't really know. So it's about the Joker. He's disgusting and terrible and horrible, but you open the pages and it's so beautiful, but it's like people's faces coming off, like it's so
ultra violent.
It's
smiling.
so much.
Joey is smiling from ear to ear.
Well, I tried to read it off the subway and I was like, no, I can't let anyone else see this book. And like,
was that when there were children next to you?
Probably.
And you're like, it's a comic book, but no kids.
That's happened to me a lot, where I pick up a comic book and I'm like, oh, the cover is very fine. And then I open it on the subway and I'm like, oh, no. I have to read this at home.
Reading Saga.
That was one of the first ones,
like big double-page spread with this like monster that has like a huge penis or something.
Well, there's also...
Hilarious.
Fantastic.
There are also like... There's the spider lady with just like a bunch of boobs.
Oh, yeah.
And there are other...
Yeah, Joey's like, I like boobs.
Yeah.
Cool character.
Which is Saga the one that also has the people with like TV heads and they're naked?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of
nudity and
inappropriate for public parts of that. I don't think there's that kind of stuff in Joker. It's just like real gross.
Yeah.
But check it out.
Yeah.
It's good.
No,
it's very good. Sorry, I cut you off to say that. Are there more?
I'm there. I'll make a list.
Okay.
I'll do a read order.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Related.
For your listeners.
Who is your favorite? 2 questions. Who is your favorite Batman villain, and who is your favorite Batman sidekick? And you can get specific if you want. Like,
oh boy. Villain. I kind of like the way they treated Mr. Freeze in the animated series.
I thought you were gonna say
Schwarzenegger.
And I was like, well, this interview just took a weird turn that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, no, I think, they kind of, in the animated series, they did really thoughtful backstories about all of the, most of the villains and gave them, like, depth that otherwise they sometimes didn't have. And yeah, I think, Mr. Freeze is really interesting. I think, Ra's al Ghul is really interesting as well. It's sort of like, his motivations are always, I don't know. You kind of are like, yeah, maybe.
I can see myself doing that in those exact same circumstances.
Yeah.
I did not ask who was the most relatable villain, but that's good to know, I guess.
Sort of genocidal maniac.
Sure. I can relate.
All right, well, that's scary. We'll talk about good guys now, because I don't like this.
Yeah, I think. Well, the best Robin or the best sort of...
Okay, fine. Your favorite Robin, and then your favorite... I don't know if Robin is...
side character.
Yeah.
I think Tim Drake is like the best Robin. Because he's the only one who actually... He figured out who Batman was before becoming Robin. And yeah, because he's like he's sort of... crazy smart detective, and he kind of figured out who he was and started helping him out, and like took initiative and basically like willed himself into becoming Robin.
Pulled himself up by his bootstraps.
There's a theme here.
So I thought it was really cool.
Is Robin your favorite? Like, I mean, I guess Batman has like one sidekick, and it's Robin. But I was thinking more like good, like people on his side that are with him.
Yeah, I mean, the sort of like ancillary family of characters are all pretty interesting. I mean, I think when Barbara Gordon became Oracle, I thought that was really interesting.
I don't really know what that is, so you have to explain that.
She was initially Batgirl, and then in The Killing Joke, she her spine was broken or whatever.
So the Joker shoots her in the spine, and then she can't walk.
And then cats ate her flesh.
Well, yes, no, that's different, but yes.
And then she becomes Oracle, which is like basically like Batman's like tech expert, sort of. She's like becomes like a crazy hacker and like is always on comms with him and helping him figure stuff out and get information. And
is that when she's in a wheelchair, or is that different?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was wondering how.
Yeah, so she couldn't walk, so that was like part of.
She couldn't superhero jump on roofs and stuff anymore, but she became even more powerful.
Yeah. Okay.
It's interesting.
Where do you read those? Asking for myself, because that sounds right up my alley. She pops up in all kinds of Batman stories, but I don't know if she ever had a run just her, but there was several times like she was in Birds of Prey, which was a group of it was like her and Huntress and some other characters would cycle in and out. Catwoman sometimes. So there are like some like trade paperback collections of Birds of Prey stories, but I don't know specifically offhand right now what the good ones are. Again, we will do some research and make a list. Related to all this, talking about sad characters, how much did you love the Lego Batman movie?
Oh, it's pretty great.
There were some like deep cut, like, have you seen the Lego Batman movie? Okay, first of all, it's so funny. Michael Cera is Robin, which is amazing. And Will Arnett is Batman.
I have to convince myself to like watch Legos move around for 2 hours.
We're gonna watch it together. It's so funny, but it's so funny. Like, Joey is the best person to watch a movie like that with, because they had a lot of really, really deep cut, like, they went through this whole thing.
References are pretty obscure.
Yeah, they went through this whole series of like all of these like B or C list villains, and they sound crazy, and I thought they were making it up. So I was like, Joey, where are they coming up with all of these like crazy things? He was like, no, these are all from, they're not very popular because they're insane, but they're from different stories.
Insane.
Yeah, what are the craziest ones?
I mean, Kite Man is probably one of the more ridiculous ones.
What does he do, fly kites?
Yeah.
Yes? Your answer was yes?
It's stupid.
That's his like villain thing. He like flies kites at the beach.
He also sort of he had like a hang glider kind of thing.
What did he do with it?
He would fly it and then steal things.
Near you?
I don't know. It's bad.
Liz,
They
this
got
will make
really
you-
inventive with the name.
They will make you like.
Too. Kite Man.
Oh, there's a
That's the best
Catman.
reason to watch.
Oh, Catman. What does Catman do?
He sort of.
He throws flesh-eating
actually don't-
cats at people.
I actually don't know if he has any superpowers.
What?
But
Does he
dresses up
prowl around like a cat?
I think he steals things.
Why does everyone steal things? Like kites and cats?
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone's just a thief, I guess.
Does he have the cat steal things for him? Or is he the cat?
No, he's the cat. He doesn't control cats, I don't think.
That would be a way cooler thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why they're C-list villains, because they're not
He just
that
puts
great.
on cat ears and then steals stuff from your house?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see. What is... He wears like a big orange jumpsuit.
Why is it orange? I thought it was black. In my head, it was black.
We are definitely attaching photos.
What? Does he look like Garfield?
Sort of.
Oh
Yeah.
my word! Look at those little ears.
Guys, this is
Ew!
bad.
No! Oh
We're gonna give you all the photos or Google it.
Joey,
right
you
now.
should be him for Halloween.
Big yellow cape.
This is
He's
terrible.
a pretty terrible villain.
Wow.
So if you needed a reason to go watch Lego Batman, that alone, I mean,
Kite
it's
Man
so
and Cat
funny.
Man.
It's such a good movie, and it's
Together
so great.
again.
Yes. Do you have any last words about how much you love Batman?
I love Batman.
I don't know.
That's not like a trick question. Is there anything else that you really want to say about this wonderful character that you love?
Just hope that in the future we'll see another good Batman movie. I think it's on the horizon.
This is a plea from the bottom of Joey's heart.
he
Please,
looks
someone
so
out there.
and earnest right now.
Pretty excited that Matt Reeves got signed on to direct a new Batman movie. He made all the Planet of the Apes movies, and they're awesome. And fingers crossed. Holding my breath.
Do you have any final words about Batman, Liz?
Batman sounds crazy. Not Batman specifically, but like the world.
Oh.
I really, really am gonna go research Catman and Kite Man because I fully don't understand. I still don't understand what they do. So that's how I'm spending my Sunday.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I'll let you know how that goes.
Well, thanks for talking to us, Joey. And thank you all for listening. We're just looking at pictures of Kite Man.
Oh my word.
Guys, this is very good.
He's not even doing anything. He's just gliding around.
Listen.
Yeah.
With both hands. He's not even doing it like a badass. It's like safety first.
I feel like
There was a
time. Yeah, if you go through comics, sometimes you just get some. They're not all good. You know,
that's pretty
not
bad.
all the characters are winners. I feel like this is. Yeah, this is terrible.
He's got the diamond on his chest.
So please go watch Lego Batman so you can get this list of all of the crazy villains.
I guess I watch Lego Batman too.
We will also we'll actually make a list of places to start for. We'll make a beginner's guide to Batman comics and movies, like maybe and animated movies.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. So thank you for listening. If you enjoy this podcast, you can subscribe. If you really like it and want to help us out, you can leave a rating and write a review. That would be amazing. You can check out the Patreon and you can follow us at Sartorial Geek everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yes. Thank you for listening. Have a good week and stay nerdy.
Joey, you have to do it too.
No,
Thank
Joey
you.
did not.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy. Stay nerdy.
Yeah, stay nerdy, guys. Bye.